What's going on, team? Proof here, and welcome to the last recruit report video for Raging Tactics. And the card I have coming at you now is Gunwild Wolf, which is one of our double rares from the set. And I was gonna record this one a little bit earlier, but then I found out about some stuff related to the card, which made me want to retest it before coming out with the next coming out for this video, I should say. And I'll go over that in a little bit. But the card says auto on rearguard or vanguard. When it attacks, cost Soul Blast 3 grade 3 and put any number of rear guards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Until the end of that battle, when your opponent would call cards from his or her hand to the Guardian Circle, he or she can only call the number of cards or more as the number of cards put to the bottom of the deck for this cost. So the way the skill works is when it attacks, Soul Blast the 3 grade 3 that you need, and then return any number of your rear guards. So if you return 1 back to your deck, your opponent has to guard with at least 1 card. If you return 2, they need to guard with at least 2 cards or more, and so on and so forth, with the max number being 4, unless at some point in time Spice can get Excel circles somewhere. Then we can return more and your opponent has to guard with more. That'd be fun for him to have, wouldn't it? And I wish the skill was a little bit less restrictive, or it did a little bit more for the cost, because I guess they wanted to temper it with the methods that we can get grade 3s into Soul. But having the Soul Blast 3 and then return 4 for max benefit for his own battle seems like it's a little bit overtuned, or not overtuned, a little bit undertuned, overbalanced. Like I wish it applied to all Gunwild Wolves on the board, not just the one that paid the cost. That would have been a little more interesting. So that way, if you have 3 in Soul and then had 3 Gunwild Wolves, or I'm sorry, yeah, if you had 3, so if you had 1 on rear guard, 1 on vanguard, 1 on the opposite rear guard, you could have paid the cost for your vanguard one, and then all attacks for that turn would have to cost 3 or more from hand. That would have been a worthwhile condition, in my opinion. But the way that it is now kind of feels like it's a little bit too much for just the one particular attack. Like, I feel like they could have did just a little bit more, and it would have been, it would have felt like it still would have been fair, but when I felt like you're trying to jump through too many hoops to get it to function effectively. And the reason why I had to record this a little bit later was because at the time of reveal, I got the translation that it was only more than the number of cards you put back to the bottom, not the equal to or more. And that 1 card difference matters a lot, because it just means your opponent has to commit more cards either before the attack, or they have to wager commit more cards before the attack to put themselves in position to survive it. Or it might just mean that they have 4 cards left in their hand, and if you commit 4 cards for the skill, they can't call or guard that particular attack because you put back too many for them to have to guard for that attack. However, if you put back 4 and they have 4 exactly, they can guard the attack and be left with no hand, but that means they still survive the attack and can do something on their following turn. So it's a big difference there, so I wanted to retest it. And the card itself is interesting. Like, it gives you a new method of finishing, but it has some issues in terms of being set up efficiently. The most efficient way to do it is through through general safe read, and you need to have a general safe read on Vanguard and have a grade 3 in the Soul, either through riding up twice, or having one in Soul already from a previous skill, maybe Gyro Slinger or through Ronaldo, things like that. And then you have 2 counter blasts available, and you put Wolf on the board, and then you counter blast for general safe read, put a Wolf into the Soul, call out another Wolf, and then repeat the process again. So that way you have exactly 3 grade 3 in Soul, and you've powered up Wolf to be 23,000 at the very least, depending on your force choice. And that's important. That's an important number, because if you hit over 18,000, that means intercepts on the board likely won't be enough unless they have some additional skill related to how much shield that they have. Because you want to have your opponent commit from hand as much as possible to stop Wolf, which means you need to have it hit over a number that your opponent can intercept with. Unless they have no intercepts, then 13,000 would be enough. And that part is interesting in being able to try to one-shot your opponent in a big safe return, because the method I found or noticed that was most efficient is to have something on the right side, on the opposite rearguard circle, that has a decent power, and then you have general safe free, and then you have your wolf side, and then wolf will be 23,000 with force 2 or 33,000 with force 1, and then general safe free would be 33,000 at the very least because you use the skill twice. And then the opposite side would be, hopefully it's maybe like a bracky or something, so it has power by itself, and then that column can hit for at least 28,000. And then you swing with the rear guard side that's not wolf, swing with general safe free, and then if your opponent lets safe free hit, you can soul blast 2. Make sure you don't soul blast grade 3s to get you below 3. Restand the opposite side, attack with it again, and then attack with wolf, and then pay the cost for wolf and remove your board, which would be ideally 4 at the time. Put those to the bottom, and now your opponent has to guard with at least 4 cards to survive. And if you've been pressuring them throughout the game to the point where their hand might be low, or this safe free sequence here, pressure them enough to drop below 4 cards in hand, then you can just one-shot them with wolf here at the very end of it. Now, while all that is sounds very potent and strong, he's going to be competing for space with the likes of Breaking Grandmobile in the grade 3 slot, and also with Bad-End Dragger, because while Gunwild Wolf is good for this particular instance here, I haven't been sure if it's better than Grandmobile in conjunction with General Safe Read, because the optimal combo with Wolf, as I just mentioned here, costs 2 counterblasts to function, but the combo with Grandmobile with General Safe Read and Grandmobile also costs 2 counterblasts, but it's something that you can do early in the game to put your opponent in a position to where they might not have enough for your next turn anyway, or maybe a follow-up Grandmobile on your next turn with additional counterblasts to function as well. That part I'm still trying to work out, which is something I'm going to be doing for continued testing. But for the purposes of this video, I'm still not certain which one is better in terms of working with General Safe Read. And with Bad-End Dragger, Bad-End can function with the crit, and it only costs 1 counterblast to use by itself, and it also functions better with Bull Spike, unlike Wolf here, which doesn't have as much synergy with Bull Spike, because Bull Spike is most effective being able to soul blast out multiple times, which means you might not be able to fulfill 3 grade 3s and soul at any moment in time to use Wolf here. And the same is true for Grandmobile. Grandmobile functions well with both of the VRs because you can set up a Wolf early through one of your other skills, and then have a mobile ready to go for your Bull Spike turn being past all the force gifts over. So he's in a weird spot here because there's other viable grade 3s to function, and I think he's going to find his home in a General Safe Read focus style deck. Maybe it's one that has like 8 grade 3s kind of low to the ground, with the idea that you're going to not counterblast at all. Maybe except for Ronaldo, because Ronaldo is going to go in that bar none. But outside of Ronaldo, you're probably not going to be using counterblast until you set up your Safe Read Wolf sequence. So that way you try to just be aggressive early with your brackies, your gyro slingers, putting cards from hand to the soul to call out a buffed board, and then swinging for the fences to put them in a position to where they're going to be at high damage to, or low hand to not be able to, in a position to guard Wolf. However, that means it also could be true for Breaking Grandmobile with his restand ability through General Safe Read. So that's where the testing is going to come in. But all in all, it's an interesting card. I want to find where it fits. It's one of those kind of mystery anomaly type of cards where it might work, it might not. I just want to test it out some more. And in premium, I don't think it really has a place per se. I think there's much more viable stuff that we could use in premium that doesn't include Wolf here, to where he's not going to find a home really. Plus G guards can just flat out stop it because it only prevents calls from hand, and as we all know, G guards are superior called from the G zone, so that's a big damper on what he can do already. So interesting card, interesting into Raging Tactics reveals that I'm going to be doing. So I'm gonna get ready to start put out some deck showcases, and I have some ideas in mind for other content that's gonna be coming into the future. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the series, this spike season, this reveal season for us, and let me know what you think about Wolf here. Let me know what you think about some of the other cards, and yeah, it's been fun. So that'll do it for me, and until the next one, peace, be easy.